YouTube, you're watching C-Note TMP, and this is just a response video to my FL Studio tutorial JJ Kit, because I didn't explain how to use 808's properly, because I lack the information, and now I have the information and I want to share it with you guys. Alright, so in the sake of correcting myself, here's a quick tutorial. What I'm going to teach you in this one is how to control the sustain on your 808's and how to tune them, because you need to tune your 808's before you put them in a mix, because it won't mesh well with your beat. First things first is you'll get a bunch of types of 808's if you're dealing with like waveforms. What I got is a couple. I got one from JJ, I got another 808, and then a kick. And the reason why I put a kick here is because when you're mixing your 808's with your kicks, you most likely want your kicks to have the punch and your 808's to have the bass. So you don't want them both to have the same frequencies. You understand what I'm doing? I'm putting the peanut butter on one slice of bread and the jelly on the other. So that way when you put it together, you get a nice little mix. Alright? What you need to do first is tune that 808 immediately. Alright? So how I do this is I go over to my channel settings window. Then I make sure I'm on the sample window and hit Control E. Edison pops up, and you see this waveform on the waveform view. You want to hit Control A. Then you want to right click on the waveform while it's lit red. Go to regions. Let's go see the drop down menu, and in there's a detection menu, and you can see detect pitch regions. Alright, so now I see that this is in an E, and you see that the E starts here because this is where the 808 starts and where it ends. Now the sound before that is actually a kick. If you play, I played it and you hear the kick in the beginning. Now if you don't want that kick in the beginning, I can show you how to remove it, and that's very simple. So now that you know what key this 808 is playing in, the first thing you want to do is tune it now. And you do that by going to your miscellaneous properties. It's in the channel settings window, and I just clicked it. Do you see it? Cool. When you come down here, you're going to see the root note. I already set it to E5. Normally your root note would be set here on C5. Excuse me. I put it on E5. And if it's on C5, just right click on the note that it's supposed to be on. Alright, if you accidentally left click, don't worry, that's just a range selector for your root note, or zone, like that as they call it. But I hit reset whenever that happens and just right click on the right note. Alright, so now that 808 is actually tuned properly, what you need to do is, if you don't want that long sustain and you want to be able to control it, you want to go over to your instrument properties. Alright, and here you're going to find an envelope, a time envelope, and you're going to use this to actually control the sustain. In this section you have a pre-delay time knob, an attack time knob, a hold time knob, a decay time knob, a sustain time or sustain level knob, and a release time knob. All of these are going to be useful when controlling this. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is pull your attack all the way back. Once you move that knob, that orange light will turn on. If you're new to this, then that's why I'm explaining it. But everybody who uses FL Studio knows that when you mess with this knobs, the light comes on. Alright, the first thing is to get your attack all the way back first. And what you're going for is either a boot shape, or you're going for another shape, which I can show you in a second. And how you get the boot shape is to actually take your decay and spread it out, and then take your sustain and drag it to the left, the knob to the left. I'll do it again. See that? Now, it's good to either get the boot or this. This is fine. This actually, I like that sometimes because it fades it out. And this boot actually is like more like a linear thing as to where this isn't. Alright? And if you want the boot versus the curve, you just put the sustain all the way to the left and it goes down, and then you want to take your release knob and drag it to the left also, so that that release is not hanging off at the end. Now, I'm going to play it. Now you notice that when I hit the 808, it just stops when I let it go. Real quick. You have full control over it now. The difference between this boot and the other way is you can control You see how it just keeps going? It doesn't stop when I let go, because that's the release knob. And when you're playing with the release, it actually can help and it can hurt you. That's the reason why I go with the boot. I bring my sustain down and I have my boot. And you can fool around with how long you want this to sustain. You can mess with the hold knob, bring this back a little bit, and all that. Those are the ways that you get to control it. Now, if you don't want that kick sound in the beginning, that's so simple. Your pre-delay time knob is right there. Drag it forward a little bit. You understand what I'm saying? And now you don't hear the kick anymore. So that's how you do that. Make sure you always route everything to an insert, like a mixer track insert. Alright? Now, there's sometimes you get 808s that are already tuned, like this one. I like using these because they're tuned already. I can just jump into a beat. Same thing. This one doesn't have, this is the kick in the beginning. And this one actually is pretty long, so I would use the boot versus the sustain tail with the curve, because it works a lot better. I'm going to actually play it so that you can hear what happens when you... You see, if you got that quick, it won't. If you got to play a note fast right after the last one, it's going to start wobbling. So trust the boot, always. Always use the boot. Another little tip and trick is, you know how those 808s bend sometimes? That's the polyphony or the polyphony. I always say this word wrong. Put the porter on, and then you can get it to bend. I usually put this on 32. And it depends. Like, sometimes some sounds, they don't work with the porter. You got to put the... Like, you can actually hear it bending. If you want it to bend more, you turn up the knob. If you want it to bend less, you turn down the knob. In order for this to bend, though, mono has to be on or porter. It depends. And with porter, it actually works a lot better than the mono, because sometimes the mono will just stop playing. So that's the quick tip tutorial on how to use 808s properly, how to control your sustain, and how to tune your 808s. And the last and not least thing is the kick that you want to be punchy. Just add it with the 808. Hear that? That's the sound you guys are looking for. Jump on it. Alright, if you're wondering where I got this FL Studio skin from, I actually made this. I have a video up. So if you guys are interested in this here theme and skin, get a hold of me, inbox me, let me know that you want it, and I will definitely find a way to get it up on the internet, get it hosted so you guys can download it, and that'll be free. That's just my thanks for you guys subscribing. Alright, so you've been watching C-No TV. This is a quick tutorial. 808s. Go have fun. Peace.